New wheel and tire day for the Jeep Gladiator Mojave. I can't wait to get these things switched out. Okay, we got it all done. I spared you the shots of the tire swapping. You've seen it a lot of times on this channel already. First impressions, a little bit louder. I think I can hear a little bit more tire noise. It's hard to tell in a Jeep Gladiator because of the noise that you get anyway. I mean, it's basically a big block on wheels, right? But I do think there's a little bit more noise. It doesn't really bother me, and it's kind of strange since the tread is a little bit shallower, but there could be more of it. I don't know, but that's what I've noticed. As far as the ride, yeah, a lot better, a lot smoother, I think. They do have the tires actually inflated higher than I typically would. They set them at 40, it looks like, if the screen is right. I typically go about 35 to 37. 36 is the sweet spot for me. So we're running about 4 pounds per more tire pressure. So that's going to make the tires a bit firmer. I will reduce them once I leave it sit for a while, let them cool down a bit. If you can cool down when it's 93 degrees in Texas, I don't know. Love the look of them. They're a 285/70, I believe. I'll put the specs at the end, but the 285/70 R17. Again, I went with 17s because I wanted that tread wall for ride quality. The more tread wall you have, the better ride quality you're going to get. I've learned this after having 20-inch tires with tread wall about that thick. Definitely not something I was interested in doing again. As far as the wheels go, they are a Fuel, I believe it's Sledge, if I remember correctly. And they're I think they're a 17/9. Again, I'll put the specs at the end if you want to check that out so you can see what they're like. I do like them. It wasn't my first choice, as I mentioned in a previous video. Ideally, I would have gone with bronze. Not a real popular choice in my household, though. My wife doesn't really care for the bronze, and apparently neither does my mother. So we didn't end up with bronze because you can't get anything. That's the way it seems to be these days. So I went with black. Now, one thing that I am going to do, these are the center caps. I had them leave them off. You can see there's a lot of chrome on these around the edge and in the center, the Fuel insignia, if you will. I'm going to get rid of that. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do. I'm toying a little bit with going red, kind of like a Schnazberry red that the truck has anyway, around the edges, and maybe the Fuel logo in the middle, but I haven't quite decided for sure if that's what I'm going to do. I think it might add a little bit of uniqueness to the wheel since there's no other color in it, just black. So I may try that. The beauty of painting, of course, is if you don't like it, well, then you can just paint it a different color or whatever you want. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to see if I can get some, matter of fact, I have some Schnazberry touch-up paint, I believe, pint size. So I think I have plenty of paint already. That should make it easier. The only thing about doing that is I will have to brush it on. Not real hip on doing that. As long as I don't leave any brush marks, I guess it'll be okay. I may have to get one of those fancy painter brushes that are more of a foam to try to do that. We'll see. Now, the idea is I believe I can pop out rivets that go around, it looks to me like they just have kind of a squeeze friction kind of a holder to keep them in. So I think I can pop those out, which will make it very simple to paint. Not so much with the center part. I thought I could drill through plastic welds on the back, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. I have done it before. I did it on the black Rhino wheels on the Toyota Tacoma. I was actually able to pop out those center letters, if you will. It said black Rhino in chrome. Mine are now black. But one way or the other, if I have to tape it all off, which I think I can do, it's all straight edges, and then I'll just freehand the fuel part of it. That'll be fun. But nonetheless, I've convinced myself as I'm talking, as we're going, that it is going to be Snazberry red. That's what I'm going to do on the center caps. Be a whole new video on that, of course, but I think that will look pretty sharp. As I'm driving around, getting a little bit more used to them, again, I do believe the ride quality is way better. It's just smoother. It's not as firm and as bumpy, if you will, as the MTs were. And I highly recommend the Falcon Wildpeak AT 3Ws. They are the best that I've had so far, even better than the KO2s that I'm running on the Toyota Tacoma. So I definitely would check those out if you're interested. Want to give a shout out to Discount Tire here in Harlingen, Texas while I'm at it. They did an awesome job, as they always do. Got me in, got me out. It takes a bit of time when you're changing out 4 wheels and tires, but they always do an excellent job, and always will work with you if you want to do something special, like leave the center caps off, for example, so you can kind of do your own thing with them later. Anyway, that is the new setup on my new Jeep Gladiator Mojave. I love it. I think it's awesome. We'll get more into it as we drive around, and there will be a separate video coming up for the mod that I'm going to do as far as changing a little bit of the center caps. By the way, if you're curious, they are held on by just 2 little Allen keyed kind of bolts, so it's pretty simple to do. I'll have to remember to paint those as well. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my new setup and my idea to black out the center caps or red out the center caps. I'd be curious what you think about that. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about Toyota Tacomas, and a Rob Motive MT, all about mini trucks. Currently, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Now, for the pictures. Stay safe out there. Bye.